Okay, let's go. It's Tuesday. Let's just jump into this. What is it, the 18th? March. Cheers. You know, it took a long time for the coffee to taste regular, and it does finally. It was weird. That was a weird symptom of that illness that I had. Very strange. Well, folks, just keep it real simple. I'm here to share with you some more thoughts on music that I listened to. And I did a bit of listening yesterday besides playing my bass, trying to get some fingers moving again. It had been a long time. RAF, you know, it's been a couple of years now since RAF played. And the last couple things that I did live, I didn't play bass. So just don't want to be shitty. I like to be prepared. So to start things off, folks, it's just the reality of time passing and our age. We've lost another. To me, the person is significant. Jesse Colin Young of the Youngbloods has passed away at 83. See, 83. There's no getting around it. We're old. We're all heading for the exit. This one goes all the way back to my teen years because this actually belonged to my good friend Mark J., who was the kid in high school who, besides my brother, was the first person to let me play their bass. And he and his friend Mike had a band, and they were among the first kids to let me into that world of kids being in bands. It was I was poor, you know, and I was an outsider in my community. So my brother James was jamming and doing stuff with people, but when I went, I felt intimidated and frankly unwelcome. So looking at this album brings it up. This album was significant to me. This whole album is good. Black Mountain Breakdown, Darkness, Darkness. Okay, what a song. That's the standard on here. Elephant Mountain. And then, of course, his song, which tried to be a theme for humanity, but we're just not good enough. Get Together. What a song. What words. Now, someone sent this to me. Youngbloods. Ride the Wind. It's a promo. I think it actually is a white label promo, yes. This is a bit jazzy from my memory. But I got to see Jesse Colin Young. I think he was billed as Jesse Colin Young when I saw him on a bill with the Beach Boys and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young down in Houston. And he held it. I remember his set. It was good. They were good. So I just wanted to mention him in passing. Rest in peace. As I said, every day we lose someone. But thank goodness for good music and art. That's really what's saving me, not TV and not movies. It is the endeavor of making music. I don't really show them, I doodle. And every now and then I write. I guess you could call it poetry, but it's personal. I don't share it with anyone. So some stuff that got played yesterday in the night tracks. This was fantastic. I say that word a lot, but I mean it. Basil Kirchin, Abstractions of the Industrial North. This is like library music. It's got 20 tracks on it. Some of this, I knew it. He's got using the best session musicians. Wow, I mean, Kenny Wheeler, Tubby Hayes is on here, Jimmy Page, Big Jim Sullivan. Man. And it sounds like there's some rockin' tunes on here where it's like almost like a soundtrack. It's almost like a soundtrack. I really enjoyed this. The whole album. Yeah, it struck me like somewhere between a soundtrack and library music. But just really full of melody, punch, and enthusiastic playing. It's really good. Basil Kirchin. He has another more well-known album. I have it. Pretty sure I do. Last night's night listens were 100% on hit. Starting with this one. David Mingyue Liang. I should say Dr. David Mingyue Liang. Dream of the Butterfly. Oh, this is just gorgeous. What we have here is David Mingyue Liang, who is a Chinese ethnomusicologist playing flute. Does he play anything else? Yes, he plays flute, zither, waterphone, mouth organ, and one other person on here is on bass flute. This is what Shabaka and Andre 3000 aspire to with their flute playing. This guy is a master, and the nuances of the music and the instruments that he's using, he knows them, and so it's just transformed you. I listened to this twice. I mean, when I had to get up, for one of those trips, I came back and played it again and listened to it all the way through before falling asleep. Dream of the Butterfly is incredible. Absolutely wonderful. I'll write the names in the description box. Boy, that was just, wow, fantastic. Hadn't listened to this in a long time, and I've talked about this person before. He's been over to my house and jammed in this room with me. Laraaji. And this is part of the Ambient series that Brian Eno started. He did this one. Well, you've heard them. John Hassel, Harold Budd. Day of Radiance. Look, here's autographed from when he was hanging out here at my house. I think it was like around 92 or 93. I was part of a group called the Healing Arts Society. and we had him come to Omaha to do a laughter meditation workshop and a concert. It was amazing. What an experience. I still have the tape from the jam session here at the house. This is transcendent, using a zither, hammering the zither. Some parts on here sound possibly overdubbed, but I kind of don't think that they are. That's just the technique and the way that the music takes you away. This is wonderful. And I do have this on vinyl too. I'm just really enjoying playing my CDs. For a long time, I was not even playing much CDs at all. So my sickness just helped me to rediscover just how much, just a treasure. It's a musical treasure over here. It is. And the next one, fantastic. Bernie Krause of Beaver and Krause. I think he lost everything in a California fire recently. Kalimantan, Heaven Before Time, Wild Sanctuary. And that's exactly what this is. This is a field recording of being out in the middle of some kind of jungle or rainforest. And it starts off, yeah. And okay, that's something else. This is part of a series of wildlife recordings, Wild Sanctuary series. A place of compelling beauty at the time of this recording, 1992, Kalimantan, like the ancient name for the island of Borneo. So it was at the time, it was considered one of the last rainforest habitats intact. And so he made this recording, and it just flows. There's 2 parts, total of 52 minutes. I did fall asleep on this, but I was listening for quite a while, and it was just, I wouldn't say comforting, but enveloping. And it fooled me. As I was starting to fall asleep, I heard thunder. I thought it was outside, and then I thought to myself, that's not right. And then I remembered, oh, I'm listening to the CD. Such moments while listening are just wonderful. I'm at a loss for words. It's in some ways it's better than watching movies. I'm visual, but the audio is much more captivating to my imagination. This is wonderful. Bernie Krause of Beaver and Krause. And I'm sorry to say, I do think it was one of those California wildfires in the last 5 years where his place burnt to the ground, his studio where he did that stuff. What a loss. So that's what I listened to yesterday. I listened to a couple other things, put them away, and I can't remember right off the hand. Oh, I see one. Actually, I see 2. Yeah. So these are from recent days, not necessarily yesterday. But these are worth mentioning. Prairies by Paul Micich, Mitch Espe. Paul Micich, wind synthesizer, and Mitch Espe guitar. So as the title suggests, there is a bit of a not necessarily Midwest, but Western sort of feel to some of this. But at the same time, they kind of push it further than that. Not jazzy, more atmospheric. I'm not going to use the word ambient, and I don't want to use the word new age anymore. I'd been saying this back years ago. This is the kind of stuff that I call healthy music. I first came across that term on the inside of a Hatfield and the North album, where there's a little note, and then it says healthy music. And I said, yeah, this is healthy music, as opposed to, say, for example, Mayhem, the black metal band, who I do enjoy when I'm in the mood, but that's not healthy music. It's not. It doesn't lead to good things. I suppose it has its place on this planet that is just overrun by darkness, but people, y'all need to know about this healthy, good music. Pardon me, folks. I hate when I get that fucking wake up in the morning and your nose hairs are grown and shit. This is wonderful. Seek it out. This is the one I remember buying for $1. And it's worth way more than $1. I had forgotten about this band, and I didn't look it up to see who's in it. But this is something really good. Italian. The name of the band is Militia. Donna Rabba. Donna Rabba is the name of the release. Militia. This is cool. Kind of a sound of their own at times, like the Residents, though. But not with the weirdness, just that sort of strange way of constructing the music. I'd forgotten about this. This is really good. Militia, Donna Rabba, or I used to say Donna Roba, but it's 2 B's, so it's probably Rabba. Donna Rabba. On the Materiali Sonori label. One of those labels, when you see them, you want to grab them. That was really good. So, I haven't been showing you very many records because I haven't been playing any. And I need to work out some more today with the bass and my laptop. That's the main item on my agenda today. But hopefully we'll get to some vinyl plays. I popped this on for a second this morning because I grabbed some records out of the B section, or that out of the other room. And Mike Batt, Schizophonia. He was the musician behind the Wombats, and he's got a bunch of other credits. I think he's pretty well known in England. And concept album. I like how this started. I could tell that the words are probably really important to getting the gist of what this is about. But it starts off, it's like Mike Oldfield. Yeah, it's in that area. Okay? And then I also noticed as I was looking at it, he uses the top line session musicians on here. Chris Spedding is on here. Who else is on here? Ray Cooper, the percussionist who's played with everyone. Love that man. B.J. Cole on pedal steel guitar. Herbie Flowers on bass. He uses the best. Terry Cox on drums on one. So, Rick Kemp, who was the original bass player, if I'm not mistaken, in Roxy Music, no, that was a Graham. But Rick Kemp, I think, played bass with Roxy Music for a while. So this was kind of cool, and I'll have to finish listening to it. Something else that I popped on to refresh my memory, because it's been a while. I was out there looking in the B's about to grab Richard Barbieri, but I thought to myself, when's the last time I played some Gato Barbieri? And I have a few of his albums, so I grabbed this one because I couldn't remember this one. In Search of Mystery. This is most likely a reissue of whatever this album was when it first came out. It's on the Happy Bird label, which strikes me as a budget label from out of Europe. It's out of Germany. And this was recorded in 1967. Cerrone is on bass. That's the other name on here that I recognize. Barbieri had a very convincing scream on the sax. He could make the saxophone scream in the same way that Pharoah Sanders and Albert Ayler do, and maybe even a little more intense. But it also seems like he could just do it at will. So it wasn't always driven from deep down here the way it sounds that it is on, like, for example, in the hands of Pharoah Sanders or Albert Ayler. They're bringing something up from deep within. His playing, it's like he can go there, but you can also hear him thinking. I can, seemingly. It's like, oh, I think I'll scream somewhere now. Okay, I'm done. Like on one side of this, it's like it's almost just one note that he's just floating around and comes back to the one note. The other side is a little better. Gato Barbieri. His name should be up there. This was in the same area. I haven't played this, but I pulled it because I said, oh my goodness, I do not remember this. Francois Bayle. Tremblement on the GRM label. Anytime I see this and I can afford them, I grab them. I can't always afford them. Once again, one of those early pioneers of electronics and all kinds of sound. This was, I'm trying to see here, the dates on here, 1978 and 1982. Anyway, this is out for play. Francois Bayle. And then these were there, and I wanted to show them. I haven't played these in a while, but I was talking about the Black Saint label. Soul Note is also associated with Black Saint, and this is on that label. And we lost him recently. Billy Bang, he's another person who died in the last year or two. I watched a documentary on him, and it was enlightening. Again, he plays violin, jazz violin. And it's like, come on, people, why aren't, amazing. And he is someone who is, and it shows in the documentary where they show him playing at different shows. You can hear and also see when the music hits his heart. Wow. And you hear it in his playing. Very soulful, but also very skilled. He's got Michelle Rosewoman on piano, Charles Tyler on alto and baritone, Wilbur Morris on bass, and Dennis Charles on drums on the Soul Note label. And there's even a resemblance to the Black Saint logo. Just good stuff. I do enjoy sharing these records with you because I do actually watch more than I had say that I do other VC videos. And I am seeing other people show some interesting records that are off the beaten path. I love seeing that. But the great majority is the same old shit. It's not the shit, but that's how it strikes me. Just the same old records. So I love doing this. Two more that are, this is just a tour de force. Franco Battiato, Pollution, reissue. My friends over in Italy and people who know the Italian music scene, you know this guy. This is some great, great work. It's progressive, slightly avant-garde. There's a little bit of pop to this. I've got a couple of his other albums. This one is amazing. If you see this one, get this. Pollution. It's in Italian, so I don't know what he's singing about, but it's the music and the presentation is so intense and so original that saves the day. The last thing I'll show here is something I need to play. It's been a long time since I played this. It's on the Torso label. I want to open this up. It's been that long. It's been years since I played this. And I found this looking for post-punk when I did, 1982, and that's when I bought this. Bazooka, Igor Stravinsky. They do some tunes based on Stravinsky. Ballet Russe, 1913, Dedans. This is really, it's like, wow, why, this ought to be known. Dedicated to Stravinsky, and you can hear it in the writing. The Torso label. Bazooka. This is fantastic. I will play this today. So there's a little bit of vinyl for you. I do enjoy sharing these minutes with you folks, even though we're not actually in the same room together. But I feel the vibration of connectedness, and enough of your comments reflect that back to me to let me know that what I'm feeling is real. And so, once again, folks, cheers. Sounds like my sister is doing pretty good on her GoFundMe. I'll leave the link if any more of you folks would like to contribute to her. Sounds like Fourth Dimension actually got some contributions to theirs as well. Thank you, folks, for caring and sharing a little bit of your money to folks who richly deserve it. Okay, so last thing I got to do today is I've been trying to decide which amp to use for the show, and I have actually I have 4 amps, but the third one, which is my main bass rig, it's in the garage. I'm so out of room, so I'm going to go out and see what kind of shape it's in, and that's probably what I'll use if it's in shape. Anyway, I love hearing from you folks. Hope it's a good day and evening for you. Take care.